I'm back, kids. So this time we're going to do worksheet number 4 in your activity book, page 81, 82, and 83. So for this worksheet, we're going to find out, does the type of surface affect friction? Our aim here is to investigate whether the type of surface affects friction. Now, we will be needing the following materials. First, we have the wooden block with the hook. So you will notice here, this block with the hook there. Okay. And then we'll be needing another force meter. We have different types of force meter here, but we'll be using only one for these surfaces. Okay. And the ceramic tile. We need to replace the ceramic tile with this silk cloth. Okay, the fabric. All right. Then we'll also need the surface with the plastic sheet. If you have noticed, I made them the same size. Okay. And next one is a surface with the sandpaper. So take note that the sandpaper is a rough surface. Okay. And then we'll also need a surface with the towel. Okay. So this one. Okay. Again, all of them have the same size and shape to make the test fair. Okay. So now let's start. For the first part, we have to place a wooden block on a ceramic tile. But again, just like what I've said, we are going to replace the ceramic tile with the silk cloth. All right, so we start with this silk cloth, and then step number 2, use a force meter to pull the wooden block. We have to place this wooden block on one end of the surface, and let's choose which force meter. Okay. And we proceed to step number 3. Okay. So please replace the ceramic tile. Oh, by the way, since the surface may move, we'll be needing a weight to hold the surface that we're going to use. All right. So we'll just put it there. Okay, and our starting point will be the end of this book. So it should start with 0 Newton. Okay, and we're going to take the reading, the first reading, for the block to move on the silk fabric. Okay, so it's around 0.6 newtons when it started to move. Okay, now let's take the second reading for this same surface, the surface with the silk cloth. Okay, so again, pull, and it started to move. It has the same result. It started to move at 0.6 newtons. Okay, so that's for your the first surface that we have used. Okay, so let's have the second material now. Okay. The second surface is the plastic sheet. This one. Okay, same size. Now we have to put on the weight to hold it so it won't move. Okay, our starting point here, our block, and of course we're going to use the same apparatus, the force meter, to measure. Okay, the first, for the surface with the plastic sheet, okay, let's start pulling and take note when the block started to move. Okay, so it started to move around 1.3 newtons. Around 1.3 newtons. Now for the second reading, same surface, the plastic sheet. Okay, for the second reading is about 1.4 newtons also. Okay, so that's for our second surface. Now let's proceed to the next surface. Okay, the one with the sandpaper. So again, take note that the surface is rough. Okay. Now, if you have sandpaper at home, I suggest that try filling the surface of a sandpaper so that you'll understand more on what's happening with this experiment. Okay, for our first reading, we have it's about 3 newtons. Our second reading for the sandpaper. Okay, surface with the sandpaper. And it's about 2 newtons. Okay, so the first one we have 3 newtons. The second reading we have 2 newtons for the block to move on the surface with sandpaper. Now let's go to the last surface, okay, the one with the towel. Okay, so it's with the towel, with the cloth. Hold on. All right. Okay, can you see? Can you see, kids? There. So it started to move on the surface with the towel at around 1.1 newton. 1.1 newton. Okay, so that's for our first reading. Now let's go to the second reading for the last surface we have here, the surface with the towel. Okay. All right. The first reading we have around 1 newton. It's the same thing. It's around 1 newton too. Okay. So, for our step number 8 and 9, you have to answer the questions there. For question on step number 8, what is changed in this test? May I ask you to write down what variable is being identified here. So, for the changed, you have to write there on top, independent variable. Remember, the one you have changed in your experiment, okay, the variable that you have changed is the independent variable. Please highlight the word changed and write on top, independent variable. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, on page 82, what is kept the same to ensure that the test is fair? Please highlight the word kept the same. And do you still remember what kind of variable is kept the same? And please highlight the test, ensure that the test is fair. Highlight the word test is fair. Okay. Now we have here kept the same. Please write on top constant variable. Let's go to page 83. You still have a lot of questions to answer there. You just have to go on and read the questions very well, very carefully. For question number 10 here, okay, page 83, again, we're on page 83. Okay, do you notice that the wooden block will not move if you do not pull it hard enough? So, right? See here on this surface, okay, so the wooden block, does it move if you're not going to pull hard enough? Okay, how much of the force is needed for it to stop moving also? Yeah, to start and stop moving. Okay, let's go to number 11. Okay, question 11 there. On which surface does the wooden block need the largest force to start moving? Can you please highlight largest force and then start moving? Then let's go to 11B. Okay. On which surface does the wooden block need the smallest force to start moving? Can you please highlight smallest force and then start moving? Next, we have here number 12. Is the force needed to make the wooden block start moving greater for a smooth or rough surface, and why? Can you please highlight start moving and highlight greater, highlight smooth or rough surface? Then you have to answer the why. Okay, just proceed to the next questions there, fill in the blanks and complete the statements there. So that's it, and have a great day, everyone.